Sanibonani, Sanibonani, Dumela, Molokoe, Molokoe, Molonakoe, Nakoe, 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 Ninjani namhlanje, niyaphila, Sanibonani, Dumela, Abusheni, Abusheni, Abusheni. Hello, the side. Hello, the side. And this side, and that side, and that side. Welcome, 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 welcome. Or welcome back to African Xhosa ASMR. I always get too scared to get too close to the camera. Too scared to get too close to the camera. Way too scared, way too scared, way too scared. But today I'm doing it, I'm doing it, doing it. Anyway, welcome to the channel. And today's video I'll be translating your names from English to different African languages across the continent. In Africa, we have thousands and thousands of languages. So in today's video, I decided to shake things up by focusing on all the continents, all the countries across the continent. So I'll be focusing on North Africa, East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, as well as Southern Africa. All I need from you is to sit back, relax, and hopefully you will know one or two, perhaps multiple names from today's video. Like, oh, I have a friend, I know someone with that name. I had no idea it meant that in English. I had no idea. It meant that in English. Without further waste of time, maskaule siwahu. Okay, where should we start? Should we perhaps start on the north, the east, the west, maybe the center? But what about south? I'm on the south. Should I be biased in today's video? No. Okay. In today's video, we're going to be doing 50 names. 50 names. Okay. From each country, we're going to have the name, the meaning from which the name is derived from, and then the country where that name is commonly used, so that you can get all the information that you need. For my other human being name videos, you should definitely check out these videos. Or perhaps I should create a playlist. I don't know, maybe I'll create a playlist. I don't know. The playlist has names of people, towns, places. Maybe I should create a playlist with the names of people, towns, places, and things, animals, colors, just different kinds of things. But today we're doing names of people, and here are a couple of videos where I translate your names. If you're looking for a name for your child or something like that, and you're like, ooh, I love that name, it probably would have, a twist to it, and it would sound beautiful for my child because I like the meaning. It carries significance and it can share like a beautiful story in my life. I would love to use it. There's the list. Use it. Anyway, I think we usually say from the easty to westy, north and south. From the easty to westy, north and south. From the east to westy, north and south. From the east to westy, north and south. How about I start? Let's start with the west. Let's start with West Africa. Our very first name in West Africa. What is it gonna be? Disclaimer, I don't speak these languages. I'm not from these countries. So if I butcher the names, please, I beg of you, forgive me, have mercy on me. I'm South African, Xhosa. So I know all things Xhosa, and when I'm pronouncing these names, I will pronounce how I would pronounce them if I were to pronounce them as a Xhosa human being. You know what I mean? For example, you have history, but history, one can say high story, that is history. I'm talking about high story, but they're talking about history. So forgive me. I'll try my best though. I'll try. But forgive me. The very first name that we have from West Africa is Kwame. The meaning means born on Saturday. Kwame. The language is Akam, used in Ghana for Kwame. The second name we have is Ama also means born on Saturday. And the language is still Akam, used in Ghana. We have Akan, and that's the language from Ghana. And the Saturday names is Kwame and Ama. I would assume Ama is for a girl and Kwame is for a guy, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. The third name we have is Namdi, meaning my God is alive. Namdi, my God is alive. The language is Igbo, used in Nigeria. Namdi. And after Namdi we have Ada, meaning first daughter. Ada comes from Igbo, used in Nigeria as well. Ada, first daughter. After Ada, we have Chima, 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 and in Xhosa, I probably would have called it Chima, Chima, Chima because of the C, CH. If it just said a C and an I, it would have been Ima, which means to wipe something. Ima, to wipe it. But if it's CH, Hima, Hima, but I doubt if it's pronounced Hima because not a lot of languages have the click, so I would assume it's Chima, 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 meaning God knows. God knows in Igbo from Nigeria. After Chima, which I would have probably called Ima or Chima, we have Amaka. Amaka, Amaka. Amaka is also from the Igbo language used in Nigeria. Amaka meaning precious. Amaka meaning precious. Amaka, Amaka, precious. After that, we have Mauli, 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 meaning God lives. God lives. In Mau is Mauli, Mauli, God lives, and it's used in the Ewe language. Ewe language, this language is used in Ghana and Togo predominantly. After that, we have, oh my goodness, I don't think I'll pronounce this correctly. Xifa, 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 Xifa meaning shh. Xifa meaning peaceful one. Shh. Be at peace, be at peace, be at peace. The peaceful one. Xifa, Xifa, Xifa. Xifa is also used in Ghana and Togo. And then after that we have Adwoa, 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 meaning born on Monday. Adwoa, 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 meaning born on Monday. It's used in the Akan language. The Akan language used in Ghana. Akan language used in Ghana. After that, we have Faiza. Faiza, meaning victorious. 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 It's used in Hausa and Arabic from Nigeria and Niger. Nigeria and Niger. Okay, now we're done with West Africa. West Africa. And where should we go? Should we go up or just make a straight line or just go down? Come to the center. What exactly it is that we do? I said from the easty to westy, you know the south. From the easty to westy, you know the south. From the easty to westy, you know the south. So I just started from the west, then I did the east. Or do this north, or should I do the south? Perhaps the central. You know what? I think we should do the east. Yeah, the east. The east. In East Africa, we have so many different languages, so many different countries, so many different cultures, and the first name I want us to start with is Amani. Amani. Amani meaning peace. Relax. 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 Just relax. Amani. Amani. Peace. 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 Amani is Swahili. Swahili is used in Kenya, and Tanzania. Amani. After Amani meaning peace, we have E-money, because we have money. Amani meaning peace starts with an A. Starts with an A. Now we have E-money starting with an I. E-money starting with an I. E-money. Money. Amani, peace. E-money meaning faith. Faith. Faith is E-money. Still within the Swahili language utilized in Kenya and Tanzania. After E-money, we have Jabari. Jabari meaning brave. Jabari, brave. Jabari meaning brave, and it's a Swahili word. I love Jabari. Brave. Jabari. Probably because this is an R, and you know how I'm obsessed with my R's. Just love my R's. So Jabari meaning brave, still within the Swahili language. And one other name that is such a beautiful name within the Swahili name is Nia. Nia, that's N-I-A. Nia. What does it mean? Nia means purpose. Nia in the Swahili language of Tanzania and Kenya. And then after Nia, we have, you probably know her as Taraji P. Henson. Did you know that the word or name Taraji is an African language? Oh yes, Taraji. So now today you're gonna know what the name of Taraji P. Henson actually means. She's such an amazing actress, such a great actress. What does her name mean? We wanna know, Siviwe. Taraji means hope. Taraji means hope in Swahili. Taraji, hope in Swahili. After Taraji, we have Ayana. Ayana is a baby girl name meaning beautiful flower. Ayana, and it's from the Amharic language used in Ethiopia. In Amharic, Ayana. Beautiful, gorgeous flower. And then after that, we have, I'm definitely butchering this one, Berhanu. In Xhosa I would have said Behanu in Xhosa, but I would assume it's Berhanu, and it means light. I love this name, and in Xhosa it means Khanya. That's what you would name your child if it means light, brightness, to shine. yakhanya, this light. And that means Beranu, Beranu, light in Amharic of Ethiopia. And after that we have Dawit, 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 David, Dawit, meaning beloved, beloved in Amharic. Now let's move on to Somalia. What do you say in Somali? In Somali we have Ayan, 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 meaning gift of God, gift of God, Ayan. And then after that we have our last one, Hebo, 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 meaning gift, 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 Hebo. And in Xhosa that would be Sipho, Sipho, Sipho. It's Hebo in Somali. Do you see the similarities? Hebo, probably I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I don't know. Hebo in Somali, meaning gift. And then in Xhosa, Sipho, Sipho, Sipho. I find that quite interesting. Okay, I think I should sometimes relate these words or names to the Xhosa language if you have them and see how correlated they really are. That would be great because southern African people, like different tribes, like the Xhosa tribes, the Zulu tribes, basically the Bantu tribes, they migrated from upper parts of Africa and then they settled within South Africa and Southern Africa. So it'd be quite interesting to see the language similarities. Let's try that. Where should we start? I think we should start with the central part of Africa now. Central Africa. Central. Eswatini in Central Africa, we have, oh wow, this is an exact name that is also Xhosa, but probably means a different thing in Xhosa. In Central Africa, we have Bonga, Bonga or Bonga, Bonga or Bonga, as we call it in Xhosa. Bonga meaning he who is looking. Bonga, he who is looking, and it's from the Ubuntu language, and this language is used in Angola. Angola, Ubuntu language, they say Bonga to he who is looking. In the Xhosa language, Bonga means something totally different. Ukubonga is, or even in Zulu, it means to give thanks. Bonga, give thanks. Bonga, meaning I am thankful, I'm giving thanks. That's beautiful. And then after that we have Fumu, 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 meaning king, king, king. And the language is Kikongo, Kikongo, used obviously in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Kikongo. King is Fumu, Fumu, Fumu. In the Xhosa language, king is Kumkani, Kumkani, Kumkani. Kumkani is king. And then after that we have Matondo, 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 meaning thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, still within Kikongo, used in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Xhosa, Motondo, meaning giving thanks, would be Nombulelo, Nombulelo, Nombulelo. For a girl, mbulelo. For a guy, meaning matondo, giving thanks. And then we have elikia. Elikia meaning hope. Elikia meaning hope in the Lingala language. Lingala language of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Hope is Elinkia. Hope. I always confuse hope with faith. Let me just think very hard and long about this when it comes to Xhosa so I don't confuse hope with faith. Hope. It's very complicated. For a boy, you would say Temba. Hopefully that's hope, not faith. But I'll put it down if it's the other one. Hope. In Xhosa, for a boy, Temba. For a girl, Noma Temba or Temba Kazi. Temba Kazi or Noma Temba. And then in the Lingala language, it's called Elinkia. And then after that, we have Makeise, meaning happiness. Happiness in the Kikongo language of the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Xhosa, there's so many different names you could use. The first one, an easier one to pronounce because it doesn't have clicks, is Mivuyo, or Mivuyo, or Vuyo for a girl. Vuyokazi for a girl, and then Vuyo for a boy. Vuyo or Vuyokazi meaning happiness. And then we have another one called Ndosi meaning dream. Ndosi is from the Yipunu language. Yipunu language is used in Goban, and that is Ndosi, meaning to dream. In the Xhosa language, dream. We don't really name people dream, or at least I don't know if anyone named dream in the Xhosa language. But to dream is ukupupa, noma pupo. I've never heard anyone with that name, but it doesn't mean there isn't anybody. But I've never heard of that name being given to a human being. Poop, noma poop, etc. And after that, we have busine, meaning wealth. This is Yisira or Yipuna language used in Goban. We have wealth for busine. In the Xhosa language, once again, I've never seen anybody named directly after wealth. Maybe there is a name that would still mean wealth without the direct meaning of the name wealth, if you know what I mean. But wealth in isiXhosa is butyebi, ubutyebi. You are wealthy, unobutyebi. And I've never heard somebody named after that. And the name wealth and the name fat in our language kind of has used similarly. Back in the day, for you to be seen as wealthy in our cultures is if you were fat. So you had wealth because you were fat, you could afford and eat anything that you want because you're not starving. So that means you're wealthy. And utyebile. And utyebile meaning you are fat. And when you say unobutyebi, that means you have wealth. Unobutyebi, you have wealth. Tyeba, fat. Tyebi, wealth. So, and after a while things got westernized, and now you're seen as wealthy if you have money. But anyway, wealth and fat are used very closely together in our language. Tyeba, tyebi, wealth, fat. And I've never seen anybody named after that. And after that we have Diba. 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 Diba means something else in my language, but Diba means sun. The sun, as in up in the sky, the sun that shines. In the Luba language in the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have Diba. Diba. Diba, meaning sun. In my language, ukudiba is, when you diba, it could probably be simple. Ukudiba, when you're digging something, you're digging your hole in the ground. Uyahumba, that's what we call it. Ukuhumba. Ukuhumba is when you're digging something. After digging something, the act of putting back the soil now, okay, let's say you're planting a seed. So you firstly dig a hole and then you put in the seed, right? And then you cover it up. The act of covering that seed up is called ukudiba. That's what we call it. Ukudiba. Ukuhumba, to dig. Ukudiba is to cover it up. In my language, that's what diba means. But in Luba, it means the sun, the shining sun up there. But funny enough, when you diba, you're just covering something up so it doesn't shine. You know what I mean? They covered you up and they didn't know that you were a seed. You would germinate and bring forth multiple fruits. Anyway, what is sun? Sun in Xhosa, sun for a boy would be langa. Langa, langa, langa. We do have that name. And for a girl, nomalanga, nomalanga, nomalanga. And then after Diba, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have Louis, Louis, Louis meaning mercy. Louis meaning mercy. Louis meaning mercy, and it is used in the Lunda language. The Lunda language used in Zambia and Angola. Zambia and Angola. Once again, I always confuse mercy with grace. Mercy and grace. I'm sorry, English is not my home language. Let me try to ask Google, what does mercy mean in Xhosa, so that I can know, and then I translate it for you, because I don't want to mention grace, Mercy. Mercy. Funny enough, Mercy is my uncle's name, but I always ask myself, what does mercy mean? I always say, does my uncle's name mean mercy, or does it mean grace? Mercy or grace? Mercy or grace? And right about now that I'm filming this video, I know it means mercy because I looked it up. It means mercy. But a few weeks from now, I'm going to be like, is it mercy or grace? Is it mercy or grace? I always confuse the two. I use them interchangeably, like similarly. I always say mercy and grace. Lord, please have mercy and grace on me. I just want both of them. Okay, I want both of them. So my uncle's name in the Xhosa language is Louis, and the Lunda language, it means mercy, mercy, used in Zambia and Angola. But my uncle obviously has a Xhosa name, and his Xhosa name is Nceba. My uncle, Nceba, meaning mercy. Nceba, Nceba, Nceba. And that's for a boy, and for a girl, Ncebakazi. Ncebakazi, Ncebakazi, or Nonceba, Nonceba, Nceba, meaning mercy. Please, Lord, let me not forget and confuse it with grace again. Okay, and then after that we have Muzowa, meaning a rainy day. Muzowa, rainy day. If you give birth to your son or daughter, I don't know the gender in this case, if you gave birth to your child on a beautiful rainy day, you can call them Muzowa, a rainy day. It's in Lunda. Lunda is used in Zambia and Angola. What does that translate to in Xhosa? In Xhosa, Muzowa, we just have rain, and rain would be Nomvula, and that is a name usually given to a baby girl. Okay, we are done with Central Africa, and I think we should move either north or south. Okay, let me just flip my invisible coin and see if it's on heads, we're doing south where I am, or if it's, tails, we're doing north. Okay, that's okay. We're doing north. We're doing north. I bet you thought I was gonna do south. No. We're doing north. North Africa, we have our first name, and that is Bahiti. Bahiti, meaning fortune. In Swahili. Why are they saying Swahili is used in Egypt? Fortune. Is there Swahili in Egypt? Is there Swahili in Egypt? Oh, okay. Yes, there is Swahili in Egypt. Although it's not the primary language of the country, Egypt has a history of teaching and using Swahili, particularly in its relation to East and Central African nation. Oh, Swahili is considered one of the most important languages in Africa and serves as a lingua franca even in countries along the Nile River. Okay, cool. Okay, now let us do Bahiti, meaning fortune. After that, we have the one, the only, the legendary Cleopatra. What does Cleopatra mean, you may wonder? What does Cleopatra mean? And where is it from? I'm pretty sure you obviously know where it's from. Egypt, obviously, but it is actually a Greek word from Egypt, and it means glory of the Father. Glory of the Father, and that is Cleopatra. Cleopatra. Cleopatra meaning glory of the father, used in Egypt, and it's a Greek word. And in Xhosa, Cleopatra is Ndumiso. 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 Ndumiso for a boy. Non-Ndumiso. Non-Ndumiso for a girl. Ukudumisa is to glorify, to worship, and all that. Ndumiso or non-Ndumiso. Cleopatra. Cleopatra. After that, we have Osiris. 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 Osiris, also used in Egypt. It's an ancient Egyptian word. Ancient Egyptian word meaning strong eyesight. Strong eyesight. Strong eyesight, and that is Osirisi. Osirisi. What does Osirisi mean in the Xhosa language? Strong eyesight in English. What would you name your kid for strong eyesight? Yeah. I have a neighbor. Oh no, that's not. Okay. Let me just. It's not it, but I thought I had it. We have a neighbor called Njongo. Njongo, back at home. Like one of our neighbors is called Njongo. 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 Njongo means purpose. Njongo means purpose. So I thought I got it in my mind because in Xhosa, the eyesight is called Jonga. 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 Jonga is to see. Could you say Mbonisi? Mbonisi. 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 Kubona Mbonisi. Because ngumcebisi, qanda qonda umcebisi, uyakucebisa, akakubonisi, uyakucebisa. Ukhona umuntu ongibizwa ngoba ngumbonisi. Ngathi ukhona. Ngathi ngicinga umcebisi. Qha apha engqondweni uvela umbonisi. Banifuna igama lide lisebenze. Qha ndazi bazosebenza. You would call them Mbonisi in Xhosa. Mbonisi in Xhosa, like to show somebody something, to show it. Yambonisa, but not like you have strong eyesight, you're showing it to them. That's what it means. And then after that we have Asim. 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 Asim is used in the Arabic language, and this is a name usually given to kids in Egypt and Sudan, and it means protector. 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 Asim. 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 Protector. What is to protect? Like, I know what is to protect in class. I'm actually thinking of real words for people to protect. There definitely is a name for a person. Protect. Yes, I remembered it. Protector, which is Asim, in Xhosa would be Mkhuseli. 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 Mkhuseli, which is a name given to a baby boy. Mkhuseli, meaning protector. Protector in the Xhosa language. And then after Asim, meaning protector in Arabic, used in Somalia and Egypt, Sudan, and Egypt, we have Naila. Naila. Nyla, Nyla. Have you seen the Lion King? Do you know what Nyla means? Have you seen it? Do you know what Nyla means? Well, Nyla means successful, successful, successful in the Arabic language. Successful in the Arabic language. This language is used in Egypt and Sudan. Nyla. What is Nyla in Xhosa? Meaning successful. Nompumelelo. Nompumelelo. If it's a baby girl, pumelelo. Pumelelo. If it's a baby boy, meaning success or successful. Mpumelelo. Nompumelelo. Meaning Nyla. Nyla. And then after that we have Azeza. Azeza. Azeza meaning respected. Azeza is an Arabic name from Eritrea. Eritrea. Azeza. Azeza used in Eritrea. What does Azeza means? Respected. To respect is ukuhlonipha. Ukuhlonipha. I've never heard somebody called hlonipho. Hlonipho, I've never heard someone called that. Non-hlonipho, there probably is. Kwezinye ilali abantu bambiza yonke into nje once udibana nento uyambiza ngayo abanye abantwana. Ukhona kodwa umuntu ongunonhlonipho nangona ningaqhelekanga okanye lixhaphakile lo gama. You would call them that, but I've never heard of anybody called nonhlonipho. Respect. I feel like there is a word. Let me try to see. Respect. Yeah, nonhlonipho. Nonhlonipho. What would you call that? Let me not overthink it. I've never heard anybody called nhlonipho or nonhlonipho, which is what Xhosa respect it means for Azeza, Azeza. And then after that we have Zula, 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 which means something totally different in Xhosa. Zula, Eritrea means brilliant, brilliant. Zula, Zula, Zula means brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. In Tigrinya, Tigrinya means brilliant. Zula in Eritrea, Zula. In Xhosa, ukuzula, Zula means, just roaming around, being up and down. You everywhere, you're just walking, you're always everywhere. We are Zula. Zula. Zula means just galavant, go everywhere. You always seen everywhere. We are Zula. That's what it means. And there's also a saying that says ukuhamba ukubona, which means to travel is to learn and experience new things and see new things, and whilst doing that you're basically learning. So ukuzula, which means to travel and just be all over. You get to be brilliant when you do that because you're learning new things all the time, which is what Zula means. But in Xhosa, brilliant, brilliant, ukrele, that is to be brilliant, ukrele, okanye uhlakaniphile. I have a friend who's Zulu and their name is Nhlakanipho. Nhlakanipho in Zulu. Nhlakanipho. Nhlakanipho. Let me just see if there's a Xhosa name for that. Brilliant. Brilliant. It says brilliant means oqaqambileyo. Oh my God. Oh my God. I remember now being a kid at school, and our Xhosa teacher would say, uqaqambile, uqaqambile. Oh my God. Uqaqambile meaning you bright, you brilliant. Uqaqambile. But as I grew up, the word that was used changed to ukrelekrele, ukrelekrele, and that's the word that I ended up using for brilliance, of being smart, of, all that ukrelekrele. That's what I ended up using. But there was a teacher who would always say uqaqambile, uqaqambile. This takes me back to primary when the teacher would say uqaqambile. So the synonym for ukrelekrele would be uqaqambile, for brilliant. And the reason why is because ukuqaqamba could also mean something else. Uqaqambile, which means it's bright, which to me in my mind is like it's colorful, bright, like bright, colorful. But if you're clever or brilliant, people say you're very bright, which could mean you're brilliant as well. So kuqaqamba in my mind is like you're bright, it's bright, like referring to colors or things. Bright. Qaqamba. Oh yeah, that's a name for a baby girl. Qaqamba. Qaqamba. Qaqamba meaning brilliance. Qaqamba meaning brilliance. I knew there wasn't a word for this. I knew there was a name for this, but qaqamba in my mind is like brightness. Like it's bright. Oh, too bright. Like it's shining at you. To shine, ukukhanya. But now when it's already shining and you're like, iqaqambile, like it's bright. Meaning brilliant, clever. Qaqamba. Okay, cool. Takes me back to primary. Qaqamba meaning brilliant. And in Eritrea, you would say Zula, which in our language means to gallivant. And then after that, we have Fetawi, meaning justice. Still in Eritrea, in the Tigrinya language. Justice. What is justice in Xhosa? Let me look it up. Justice. The thing is, once you start learning English, you have a full understanding of what that word directly means in English. So directly translating it to Xhosa at times, when you're translating it and then Google Translate puts it, it'll be like, not quite, that's not the same thing, but I get where you're coming from, but that's not the same thing. For example, justice. I know, the justice system, but and you know that justice, what it means. And then here it says ubulungisa means justice. And now you're like, oh, okay, I see. But if I were to translate ubulungisa without having justice in front of me, what is ubulungisa? Ubulungisa is righteousness. So does righteousness and justice mean the same thing? You let me know. Does righteousness and justice mean the same thing? But I could get where you're coming from if you would try to see that they mean the same thing. But justice and righteousness, I don't think they're quite the same thing. So here, now Google Translate says justice is ubulungisa, of which I know ubulungisa is righteousness. You know what I mean? So In this case, justice, in Xhosa, justice. Lunga, 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 nukulunga. Lunga for a boy, nukulunga for a girl. But in Xhosa, as a true Xhosa, I know that means righteousness, righteousness, and that's the names that you give to your kids. Fetiwa, Fetiwa in Eritrea, Tingrinya. And then after that we have Atifa, Atifa, Atifa or Atifa, meaning affection, affection, affection in the Arabic language used in Eritrea. Affection, Atifa, Atifa, Atifa. What does affection mean in this clause? Show me. Affection. Affection. Let's look it up, because I don't think there's someone called affection, but Google Translate can translate it to something else, which we do have meaning in Xhosa. Let me see. Affection. What does Google say? Affection. I knew it. I knew it. In my mind, I was like, Google is gonna say this, but I was like, let me just give it the benefit of the doubt because I know what it means. So, affection. Google Translate says affection means love in the Xhosa language. Affection means love. Affection and love are within the same WhatsApp group because they are within the same thing. You're showing someone affection, that means you love them. You're showing some form of love, which is affection. But I wouldn't say affection and love is the same thing. Shh, let's wait. I'm very much of a very direct person and a straight shooter. Pow, pow, wow. In the words of Wendy Williams, every time I'm trying to explain things to you and, telling you, I want to tell you exactly what it means, exactly what it is. And in a case where it is not, I then explain to you that it's not. And to me, affection and love are not quite the same thing, but they are the same thing, but not quite the same thing. I don't know how to explain it. So if I were to translate the word affection, I wouldn't translate it. I'm like, what is affection? Affection is love. Maybe you could say that. It does make sense, but what comes to mind isn't that affection is love. But I don't know how to explain it, which is why it becomes difficult for me to explain certain English words for you, because I don't want to say affection, meaning love. So now Google Translate is saying that affection is love, but in this case, you would name your kid Tando, 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 usually for a baby boy, and Nolutando, Nolutando, or Tandokazi, Tandokazi for a baby girl. So when I ask what affection is to Google Translate, it translated to Tando in Xhosa, which means love, of which I wanted the Xhosa word for affection, not the Xhosa word for love, because I know it's the Xhosa word for love. I hope it makes sense. So affection, Atifa, 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 meaning love, in Xhosa would be Tando, Nolutando, or Tandokazi. And then our last name is Mahes. Definitely butchered that one. And it means lion. Lion in the ancient Egyptian language used in Egypt. Lion is Mahes. And lion in Xhosa means ngonyama, but nobody names their kids after a lion. Nobody's named ngonyama. Ngonyama. Nobody's named that in the Xhosa language. Okay, now let us move on to the final part of the African continent. It's down there. The last region we're going to be talking about is the one down there where I am. Southern Africa. Southern Africa. Probably gonna be hearing names that I'm familiar with, I hear on a daily basis from my friends, etc. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Our first word in Southern Africa is a word that is very common. Like, there's a very famous soapy here in South Africa. Very famous. It's called Generations. That soapy had like one of them like main characters was like the big guy there in that soapy. Tau. I know him from Generations. Tau from Generation is actually a word that means lion. Lion in Soto of South Africa, and Botswana means Tau, lion. It's used in Soto and Setswana language. Sesotho and Setswana language, and these languages are used in Botswana and South Africa, and the name is Tau, meaning lion, and that's a name given to a baby boy. After Tau, we have another name, Kagiso. Kagiso means peace. Kagiso means peace in Setswana, used in Botswana and South Africa. Kagiso. Shh. Let's wait. Kagiso meaning peace. Peace in isiXhosa, peace is Zola for a baby boy. Nokuzola for a baby girl, meaning peace. Zola, have peace, be at peace. Zola, just relax, be at peace. Ukuzola. I usually say Paula, Zola, Olale, Zola, meaning peace, just relaxing, peace. And Zola for a baby boy, Nokuzola for a baby girl, and Xhosa. But in Setswana, you would say Kagiso. After Kagiso, if this was not a name that I'm used to because it's used in South Africa, and I would have said Kagiso because I've never seen it being pronounced. But now that I know people with this name, I know for a fact Kagiso meaning peace. And then after that we have Lesedi, very, very common name, very, very common here in South Africa. Lesedi is used for light. Lesedi, light, used in the Sesotho language, used in South Africa, or perhaps in Lesotho as well. You would say Lesedi, meaning light. And light in Xhosa is khanya, 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 which means light, or lightness, light. Khanya, 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 or nokukhanya. Nokukhanya. Nokukhanya is for a girl, and then khanya is unisex. There are girls named Kanya, there are boys called Kanya, but if you say Noku Kanya, you know for a fact that's a girl. And Noku Kanya, which is just for a girl, is usually used in the olden days. Usually nowadays, when you hear a name with No or Kazi, you know that usually for old people, but it could be like people in this generation as well, but usually older people. Nokuzola, nokuzola, that is like for older generations, Nokukhanya, nokubonga, nombulelo. No, once you hear the no, usually for older people, but not all the time, obviously. And then after lerato, 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 lerato is also a Soto name, or Setswana as well. Soto or Tswana, we have lerato. Lerato means love, love, love. Lerato, lerato meaning love. Lerato is used in South Africa and Botswana as well. Lerato, love. And then after that, we have naledi. Naledi, naledi meaning star. Star, bright shining star. Naledi, and this is a name given to a baby girl used in Soto and Tswana language, both in Botswana and South Africa. And this name, Naledi, in Xhosa, a star is Kwezi, 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 and that's a name usually given to a baby boy. If it's a baby girl, Kwezi Kazi, Kwezi Kazi, Kwezi Kazi, meaning star. Naledi, naledi, naledi. After that, we have Zola. Zola. I did mention Zola when I was talking about Kagiso. Kagiso meaning peace. Peace and calm in Xhosa are used interchangeably. Peace and calm are used interchangeably. So in this case, Zola would mean calm, 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 and that's a Xhosa name. And in South Africa, obviously, that's where it's used. After that, we have Tabisa, Tabisa, Tabisa. Tabisa means to bring joy. Tabisa, to bring joy. Tabisa is a Zulu word meaning to bring joy, and it's used in South Africa. Tabisa, gobisa in Xhosa, to bring joy. Gobisa, gobisa, gobani, have joy. Gobani, have joy. Bring joy. Gobisa, gobisa, and that's a name given to a baby girl. A baby girl. And then after that, we have Gugu lingaba likhulu umbombo uyaqhosha. Guguletu, we have Guguletu. Guguletu, others in South Africa probably know it as a place called Guguletu. Guguletu, what does Guguletu mean? All I can say is Gugulinga balekolo umbambo yakosha. Guguletu means pride. Gugulam, This is my pride and joy. If your child is your pride and joy, you can call them Guguletu, and their nickname is Gugu. Gugu, Guguletu, Gugu. What's funny is that my grandmother would give us names, and then our parents had already given us names that are appearing in our birth certificates. But my grandmother would give us names when she sees us. And this is the name that you would normally be given. Like, oh, this child should be named so and so. But our parents gave birth to us and they named us. Then they go show us to my grandma. My grandma was like, oh, okay, beautiful. She shall be named. And then she has her own name that she calls us. So one of my older sisters, she has her name. She has her name that my parents gave to her. But my grandmother called her Gugu. Gugu. And I was like, why is my grandmother calling my sister Gugu? Obviously, it's not there in her birth certificate. She only has one name in her birth certificate, the name my parents gave to her. But my grandma called her Gugu. Gugu letu, Gugu. Gugu mtanam. Like, why, grandma? Like, grandmother gives you names, and yeah, it just happens. And that's my second sister, the second oldest. There's many of us. We're 7 in total. So by the time I was born, my parents felt guilty about the fact that they never use the names that my grandma gives us, because they already like picked out names for us themselves. So when they showed me to my grandma said, beautiful, her name is Zintle. Her name is Zintle. You obviously know that my name is not Zintle. My name is Siviwe. My name is Siviwe. So after that, life happened, and then within a year of giving birth to me, right, like my parents gave birth to me, and then just a few months after birth, my mom was pregnant again with my little sister. So we probably look like we're the same age group. Like, people sometimes confuse us. And so when they showed me to my grandma, my grandma's like, Sintle. My parents felt so guilty for that, and they already picked up names for my younger sister, and then they gave birth to her. So I have 2 names. All my other siblings, one name. When it comes to me, number 5, they gave me 2 names. I'm not going to tell you my other name. So I'm Siviwe. That's all you need to know. I love my other name as well. It just blends well with Siviwe, which makes everything make sense. Both my names, you would think I'm a boy, basically. So after that, they gave birth to my little sister, because they already showed my grandmother, and my grandma was like, Kusintle. They gave birth to my little sister. Guess what? They gave my little sister, who they picked out 2 names for. They picked out 2 names for. They were like, you know what? Usemncinci bangathi bayalingana, masithi nguzinhle naye, masifaka apha kuzinhle. So my younger sister has 3 names. She has her 2 names, and she has her name, like her 2 names, and then the 3rd name is Zintle. She has 2 names, and the 3rd name is Zintle. She has 3 names. And they go show my grandma, and then my grandma gives her a different name. Even though she already has 3 names, she gives her a different name. We're growing up. And every time my grandma calls me, she would call me Zintle. I'm like, Grandma, I'm not Zintle. Zintle is my younger sister, not me. This is Zintle, not me. And my grandma is like, no, you are Zintle. And I thought, because, she's older, probably like we all around the same age group with my sister. She's like interchanging our names, you know, sometimes when your parents call you but they mean the other sibling. I thought that was it, but my grandma was adamant, like, you Azintle, she is, and she would name a random name that we don't know of. And I was like, yeah, what's going on with our granny? And then one time I asked my mom, like, Ma, what's going on with grandma? Why is she calling, I name my older sister, the second born, why is she naming her Gugu? And that's not her name. And then why is she naming me Zintle? But Zintle's not my name, it's my younger sister's name. And then naming my younger sister name, a name we don't know about. Like, what's going on? And then that's when my mom told us this story that, yeah, them as my parents, they would both pick up a name that felt like it resonates with us. And they would go give birth, and then when they're, you know, naming the birth certificate, they would put in the name that they want for us. And then once they show my grandma already picked up her name, her different names for us. And then she told us the story of like how that name was picked up for me, but they thought maybe she would forget about it now that it's given to my younger sister and think it's for her, you know. So, you know, just make her feel special in a way. It's just she picked out the name, but she actually picked it up for me. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I understood why my grandma always called my big sister Kuku. Hey Kuku, hey Kuku. Like, Kuku, yeah, Kuku. Kuku meaning pride. Like pride. Love that. Love that, love that, love that, love that. Love that. Okay. Kuku meaning pride. Kukuletu meaning our pride. Our pride. Our pride. Kukuletu. Our pride. Kuku. My pride. And then it's a Zulu word, Xhosa as well. And after that we have amahle, 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 which it means the beautiful one, the beautiful one, amahle, the beautiful one. And this is a Xhosa and a Zulu name from South Africa, amahle. And then after that, our last name is, drumroll please, our last name is Jabulani, 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 meaning rejoice, rejoice. It's a name usually given to a baby boy. Jabulani meaning rejoice in the Zulu language. Jabulani for a baby girl would be nonjabulo, nonjabulo, nonjabula. Jabulani for a baby boy in the Zulu language. And that is pretty much it for today's video, where we are translating different names from the east to west, north, south, and central Africa. Hopefully you found a name that resonates with you, or perhaps you know what your name means in your culture. Now you found out what it also means in an African language. So thank you very much for watching. Before I go, I would love to read you word of the day. What is our word of the day for today? So for our word of the day today, what are we going to read? 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 Our word of the day for today is going to be in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 11, and it reads, "He who loves purity of heart and whose speech is gracious will have the king as a friend." Such beautiful words, and I hope that they encourage you throughout the rest of the week. And it wouldn't be an African language themed video if I didn't translate that. So let me translate it to the Xhosa Bible and see what it means. Let's see what it means. The book of Proverbs in isiXhosa is called imizekeliso. For that reason, ilizwi lethu lanamhlanje sizolifumana kwincwadi yemizekeliso, isahluko samashumi amabini anesibini, ivesi yeshumi elinanye. Ifundeka ngolu hlobo. Othanda ukuhlambuluka kwenhliziyo, omlomo unobabalo, umhlobo wakhe ngukumkani. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful words. I hope that they encourage you and they carry you through the rest of the week. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I will catch you on the next one. Ndinithanda nonke emakhaya. Bye bye, in bethunan.